Yes, hello and welcome to the Any Given Sunday Australia podcast, the only podcast running 26, 12 and 1 on the season. Joining me, as always, back from IR, only one half of my dynamic trio. Yes, at Danny Webb, AGSAU. How are you feeling, mate?
I'm doing not great, actually. Like, the Birds obviously having that terrible loss. It's 3 in a row now. And as you said, I am coming off IR. Unbelievable, though, in the podcast world. It's only one episode, not 4 weeks. So it's not too bad. But, man, those Birds, we're in trouble.
We just literally in the last couple of hours now that we've been recording, they have lost, and you are in a bit of trouble, mate. Like you said, 3 in a row. We've got Lions, Bears, and now the Chargers, and you've also got the Cowboys coming up, like right on your tail end, just to keep it real interesting in the NFC West, NFC East. That could be 23, 24 years in a row now that if you shit the bed, it'll be a different winner.
The only benefit, our only saving grace, is our next 4 matchups is the Raiders, Commanders twice, and the Bills. So realistically, if we're not walking out of that 3-1, we've done something terribly wrong. And if we walk out 3-1, being 8-4, so then we'd go to 12-5. Like, that's fine. That is, like, realistically, that is a fine record to walk away with. But the issue was with today was, like, I have no idea what was going through Jalen Hurts' head. Like, he just wanted to just sling the ball when it wasn't there. Then we finally got the Saquon going on the ground. He had a massive run for a touchdown. First time it's happened, it felt like all season. Then we didn't go back to him on the ground. And then when we did, he just got absolutely swallowed. Jalen Hurts had more turnovers in this single game than he did the 12 previous. In this single game, he had 4 interceptions. 2 were his fault. 2 weren't. 2 were bounced off receiver's hand. And one of them, the last one, was just an incredibly well defensive play. Like, I couldn't argue against that. Like, it was heartbreaking to watch because it was it was for a touchdown to win in overtime. But it was a good defensive play. Like, that wasn't really necessarily Jalen's fault. But the other 2 definitely were. And then in one single play, there was an interception, a fumble by the defense, a fumble by the offense, recovered by the defense.
How good was it listening to the referee trying to explain that?
4 turnovers in a single play. And that one play actually summed up this whole game. Like, it wasn't a great game by the Chargers. It was a terrible game by the Eagles. It was played completely on defense. And even, like, to the point where the Eagles could have actually won this in regular time if they had better clock management and had got another first down, because they could have kicked a field goal to finish it. And instead, they let the Chargers run up in a minute and a half and kick a field goal to take it to overtime. Just a disaster, really. I don't really want to go too much more into it. Hopefully we can turn it around. Like, it's like playing the Raiders is almost like the longest yard, you know? So you got to play the team that's, you know, number 2 in the rankings for the number 1 overall draft pick next year. So, like, you know, you play them to maybe give yourself a little bit of a boost, but knowing the Raiders will be a game that they come out and try and just blitz and win us.
Just so you know, you're 8-5, so you'll be 11-6 if you do get that 3-1 that you're hoping for, but which makes it a little bit more interesting. You're right, though. It's a good win for the Chargers, a needed win for them, because they're kind of in the same thing, a bit up and down. So, and Justin Herbert, obviously, he had surgery a week ago in his hand, and you had, I think it was 7 or 8 sacks on him. So your defense actually played pretty well. Let up a couple of big plays late, which hurt, but like you said, that last minute and a bit. But overall, your defense wasn't too bad. Like, it was just your offense was ordinary, really. Like, Barkley had over 100 yards, but that was it. Although, saying that, AJ Brown, I think he finished with well over 100. It does pay to sook a little bit in this league because you'll get targeted the next one. I think it's 3 in a row. He's had over 100 yards now, so good on him. But yes, mate, you need to turn it around, but you've got the schedule to do it. Charlie's not here, so we're going to say you're going to go 4-0 in those because, you know, the Bills probably should have lost this week too, let's be honest.
Which will help better with my quick maths, which was obviously poor, but thank you for correcting me on that. Always love to be corrected on my maths live. And needed. Very needed. Like I said, I'm just coming off IR.
You are, mate. It's been a big few days, steady. Don't worry. Now, just a quick one. I'm going to talk about this a little bit, but how many Super Bowls are won in September?
None.
What about October?
None.
November?
None.
Someone should tell the Colts because they come out hot. What was it, 8-0? They're now 8-5 and in line with you, and they'll miss the playoffs. There is no chance in hell that they are making the playoffs now. Daniel Jones has a confirmed Achilles tear. He went out pretty early in their week 14 game this week. Their backup is injured, so they've gone to their third string, which I don't even know his name, the poor bastard. But
Riley
they have
Leonard.
been. What was
Riley
that?
Leonard, who was their 6th-round pick this year. I don't know what pick number. He was high. He
Yeah.
actually went out and he did play okay. So, like, Daniel Jones went down with that Achilles pop, and you could see it straight away. He grabbed it. He tried to walk on it. Never going to work. You can't really walk without an Achilles. And then just starts slamming his helmet into the ground just out of pure anger. But then Riley Leonard, this is the interesting part. Riley Leonard is actually potentially going to be out this week because he's got a strained ligament in his knee. So if they
Oh,
don't
no.
sign another QB, do you know who the next backup is? It's not a QB. And I don't think you're going to guess it. But, like, if you want to have a stab.
Oh, a lot of wide receivers and stuff played QB back in the day. So
this is a tight end. He played QB in high school. Tyler Warren is actually the next in line to if Leonard can't actually step up. Which I kind of want to see. Like, just
yeah.
don't sign another QB and just let him go out there and just see what he can do.
Although, have you heard the rumor floating today? Philip Rivers, they've put him through, I think he's 44, 45, 46, something like around that, 44. Yeah, bang. He's a grandfather. Let's put that out there. And they're bringing him in for a workout just to see if the old boy can still move.
Yeah, well, like I said, if your QB3 is injured and you don't have anyone else on there, you need to get someone. And apparently Philip Rivers is the guy. Long-standing Chargers player, played 14 seasons?
Yep, every bit. He was in there. He's top 10 passing yards, but I feel like this is going to be, mate. You turn around, you give the rock straight to Jonathan Taylor, and that's all you're going to do.
Yeah, and this is super interesting for the Colts because it's not even if Daniel Jones' injury is at best 9 months, but we've seen players come back like Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins come back from Achilles injury too soon and play like they can't play. Like, they've just come back far too soon. So, like, realistically, we're looking at 12-month injury. So now if you're going 12 months, we're already into week 14 of the season. So the Colts are in desperate need of a QB. But their issue is they traded away all their first-round draft picks to go all in on this year. So they've got no first-round. They don't have a first-round draft pick for next year. So they can't even. It's not like they can go pick up a QB in the first round for next year.
And AR, we've kind of put a line through him as well. He's out with I think it's a broken occipital bone in his face.
He's played he's played like half the games that he could have been eligible to start, less than half. So like he's just an injury-prone QB, and like when he is out there, he leads with his head.
Yeah, and then taps it and says, "I'm out." But yeah, they're in trouble. They can't make the playoffs. So I've which I'll get to that point in a minute about the AFC and the playoff standings. But the Pats, I want to talk about these guys because they're now going to hold their record or continue to hold their record of the most division wins in a row, which is 11 through the Tom Brady era. After the Chiefs lost their game, so they've ended their streak on 9 because they officially cannot win the AFC West now.
It's crazy. Some people on this show called it that the Chiefs dynasty was over. And unfortunately, he's not here to be able to gloat about it. But crazy for one that the Chiefs actually went down in this game, and two that like they've still got Patrick Mahomes, they've still got Travis Kelce, they still have firepower. Chris Jones is still lining up there on defense. You still have Andy Reid. You still got Spags. So like, what's actually going on in the Chiefs organization for them to drop this far? Was going for the three-peat just too much for them, and they just gave all their energy in too early, and then just didn't really have anything else to carry on for the rest of their time. We saw it in the Tom Brady era as well. Like, he was more like up and down per year, though, not like having a consistent 3-year period and then just dropping off the edge of a cliff.
And you're like I watched the game yesterday. Like, Mahomes was doing everything he could. Like, I almost feel like they're obviously still in for a chance to make the playoffs, but it's going to be sad when they don't make it because that's where Mahomes really comes to shine. Like, he was doing, I think he finished with they were pretty shit stats in the end, like three interceptions. I think it was like 12 of 28 or something. Like, it wasn't great game. Rushed for like 55 yards because he had to. But yeah, like, I think Rashid Rice had 2 or 3 drops. Travis Kelce dropped one and pretty much gave it to the defender to end the game. Like, it was just everything that they've been going well for them over the past few years. Like, I think it was 11-1 in one-score games last year, where they're something like 2-8 or something like that this year, off the top of my head. So everything that's been going well for them the last few years just turned straight around to be like, you know what? Your luck's run out.
Huge shout out though for this Texans team. Like this Texans team starting to knock
Yep.
off some really big players. Okay, you might not class the Chiefs as a big player because at this point of their season, but like they knocked off the Bills. This defense is a lockdown defense, and they are really, really turning it around. CJ Stroud's just doing enough. I'm not saying he's playing like how he did in his first year, but he is definitely just doing enough to get by, make the right decisions, try not to make too many mistakes, and get away with these wins, and let that defense go out there and get some stops. But that defense is locked down. D'Amico Ryans just has them firing on all cylinders.
You say you don't class the Chiefs. They did have to go into GEHA Stadium. So I think anytime you go in there and beat the Chiefs, like they are loud when they are there. So I think that's still classed as a massive win for those. They should just wear red all the time because they are red hot at the moment, those Texans.
So the Chiefs are actually sitting 10th as far as on the bubble is concerned, with a 11% probability to still make the playoffs. Oh, and I'm sure you're going to get to it. It might even be your next point.
It is. Let's get straight into it because there was a couple of controversial calls. I don't know if you saw them. I was watching them live. I thought it was a touchdown. Isaiah Likely had the ball in his mittens for what felt like a long, long time. And the refs decided it wasn't a football move before they got in there and spoiled it out of his hands, which cost them the game in the end. Aaron Rodgers getting the job done. I also agree we need Charlie here, so he can't say that he's washed anymore because Aaron Rodgers rushed for a touchdown, threw for 280. Massive first play to DK Metcalf. Like, I feel like he's just hitting his straps at this back end of the season, but those controversial calls have kept the Steelers ahead in this AFC North race, to the point where I've said that now that the Colts are outside, they're the 8th seed. Houston is the 7th seed. I don't know what it's going to be, but the 7 that are there now, that is the 7 that are going to be playing in the playoffs.
So the 7 that are there, we'll just go through them. Number 1's the Broncos, 2 is the Pats, 3 is the Jags, 4 is the Steelers, 5 is the Bills, 6 Chargers, and 7 being the Texans.
Because like you said, the Chiefs are at 10. They're not recovering to make it. They're two games out with only 4 games to go. Baltimore's the only really one. We've said Indy's done. Baltimore's at 9. They've got the chance. They're only a game behind Pittsburgh. But if you look at their actual run home, and I'll get it up here, Pittsburgh have a much, much easier win. Like, they only need 1 win, really. Where you look at what the...
It's also super interesting about the Ravens as well, because ever since Lamar's come back for that hamstring injury, he's lost all form of lateral quickness. Like, he can't go side to side anymore. He can run up and down, and yeah, he rushed for his first touchdown in 8 games during this one, but he's not the rushing threat that he once was. And you take him out as a rushing threat, then you can't really use him and King Henry as a double-headed beast. He just doesn't have any side-to-side movement. I don't think he actually trusts in his body. I don't think he's at full health, which a lot of players aren't at this point. I get that. But you take that away, and if I'm noticing it, the scouts on the other team are definitely noticing it. So, you can defend differently against them. I think that's a lot of teams have been able to shut down the Ravens for that exact reason.
Well, you tell me who they're going to beat out of these next 4 games. They've got the Bengals at the Bengals. Probably not. Okay. They got the Patriots at home. They got the Packers in Green Bay. And then they finish off at the Steelers in the Steelers. So... Yep. Where the Steelers have got, like I said, slightly easier. They got Dolphins next week. They probably win that one. Then they have the Lions. That's going to be a tougher game. And they got the Browns. Probably win that one. So it could come down to that Ravens-Steelers last game of the season.
And that's whoever's done the scheduling this year and the script writing have done a fantastic job. Put those divisional games at the end every single time, because they're the ones that really matter. And especially if people are tied up in their division and this ends up becoming their split of the way that they can potentially jump up into the playoffs. It makes it super exciting. The Ravens definitely with a tougher run home there, though. You'd almost look at the Steelers and be like, hey, you're probably going to get through those teams a little bit easier. But you're saying that Rodgers is back. I feel like he's back every second game. That man needs to play every 2 weeks and he'd be fine.
Well, they're 7-6 for a reason. He plays every 2 weeks.
And it's evident. It's evident. But good on him for going out there with a broken hand and for it not affecting him. When was the last time we saw him rush for a touchdown? I thought that was exciting.
Yeah, no, it was. It was huge. The Titans, mate, getting a huge, huge win here. And it was actually a pretty good game. But And Shedeur Sanders coming out of that game, they were happy enough. They've named him as a starter for the rest of the season, which, huge for him. His confidence is going to go through the roof. Not that it needs that boost anymore. But the Titans getting a win out of this really lights up the race for that number 1 pick.
Super exciting here. So now, not that anyone I would have thought was expecting this, but the Giants are actually got the number 1 pick currently, followed by then the Raiders, Titans, then the Browns and Saints. And then Washington and the Jets and Arizona. I was going to stop, but then I realized they're all on the exact same record. So all it takes is for the Giants, Raiders, or Titans to win one, and then it's all open slather again.
Then they could be right down. You could drop from the first pick to realistically like 7 or 8, which is outrageous.
Yeah, so if you go on tankathon.com, is probably the best spot you're going to be able to get these stats from. It's incredible to see, but I don't know here if the Giants are actually really going to try and win any more games coming out of this, because the Giants could, obviously they believe in Jackson Dart. As long as Jackson Dart can keep his head out of collisions and keep himself healthy, I think they really do believe in what he's going to bring to the team. And, you get Malik Neighbors back and the offensive line becomes more healthy. I think the Giants can then be competitive with what they got with Dart. The Raiders, desperate for a QB.
Yes, they want
Titans,
that number 1.
I feel like Cam Ward first year, we haven't really been able to see enough yet because there's nothing else good going on in Nashville with him right there. And then the Browns, well, apparently Deshaun Watson's coming back next year. So, everything, who knows what their plan is as far as the QB world's concerned. Super interesting, though. Super interesting race for the number 1 pick.
And I like looking at that when you sent it through and showed me tankathon.com. Shout out to them. Not sponsored or anything, but, shout out. The Giants, if they get, even if it's top 3, they're going to add weapons or they're going to strengthen their O-line. I feel like because their defense is already, pretty decent. Whether they make it stronger, I don't know what path they're going to go, but a little bit of hope in the Giants facility to be like, what, if we can keep Neighbors on the field, if we can keep Cam Scatterbo from blowing his head up, we've got a good side going forward. I reckon next year is going to could be a bit of a surprise for the Giants. And then you look down further at number 9 at the moment. If Atlanta shit the bed really bad, their pick goes to LA. Imagine the Rams getting the 1, 2, or 3 pick. They're just going to get better and better.
Especially the way that Rams have been playing as well. It's almost like, hey, the team that's dominated this year, if they end up getting with a really, really high pick, what are the Rams going to add? You know what I mean? They're just full of weapons left, right, and center. Just back on the Giants, and as far as the tank is concerned, this is great. So the Giants have the Commanders, Vikings, Raiders, and Cowboys. Ooh. So when they're playing the Raiders and the Commanders, are they both going to be trying to lose?
And they'll all draw. We'll just shake hands at the start. But yeah, I don't know. I'm actually a little bit bullish on the Giants after learning how far down they were. Although 2-11, I don't know how bullish you can be. Although they beat you, didn't they?
Yeah, they beat us. Yeah, and they beat you.
They did. Yeah, they did.
And they beat you, didn't they?
The Giants didn't beat us,
didn't they?
Nah.
Who was it? You sure?
Yeah,
I reckon they might have. I'll fact check you. You move on to the next point.
Nah, they definitely didn't beat us. I know who beat us. You beat us. Anyway, the Bucks. Speaking of stumbling and shitting the bed, I see you fact checking the bag. You keep fact checking.
No, you're right.
We didn't. I can name the teams that beat us. They're serious stumbling, losing to, again, the Saints hurt themselves, probably dropped down a few draft spots by beating the Bucks. And this seriously keeps the Panthers in that NFC South race.
Super exciting. And we never really say this about the NFC South. Sorry if your favorite team's in that. But everyone knows it's not the most exciting division to watch out there. And a lot of the times the teams are just getting in with a plus 500 record. So the Falcons and Saints have been eliminated for a little bit. So both those teams finishing at 7-6. The Buccaneers currently have the tiebreak between the two. But if we go out and we have a really exciting end to this, I'm going to have to quickly get up the schedules for them both.
Yep, I'm going to do that.
But this is I am so high on both these teams. Like the Bucks have had like a relatively injury prone season because we kind of thought they were going to run away with this. Baker Mayfield, we had him up in MVP conversations, but then if you go to lose to the Saints, well, guess what? You're out. You're straight away out of those conversations. And then the Panthers have been really, really exciting because like Bryce Young has really turned it around. He's got the big TMac that he's been dishing out to, which we always love. You've got to get one of those jerseys. Plus, I quite like the powder blue, even the black, even the black of the Panthers. Both are good.
So, I love this. You talked about the schedule makers. So the Bucks have got the Falcons this week. Then they play the Panthers. Then they play the Dolphins. Then they play the Panthers.
Wow,
that's huge.
That is huge.
As far as the Panthers, though, the other two that they've got to get through, I've just lost it, which is perfect. But I love the fact that we've got those two playing off each other twice in it's pretty much whoever can win that battle, even if it's 1-1, whoever can win it and win it convincingly is pretty much going to be NFC South champ.
Yeah, and neither team, I don't think, with the way the NFC is shaping up, if they don't get that, if they don't hold that division, they're not making the playoffs. So this is like this final game will be a play-in essentially to get into the playoffs, which I absolutely love.
I've just got it here. Here we go. So they've got Saints. So I know the Saints won, but you say the Panthers win that, and their other game's the Seahawks.
Yeah, which you're saying is probably a loss because the Seahawks are still firing on all cylinders. So you say the Panthers beat the Saints. The Panthers are also coming off a bye, which makes it a little bit easier for them. So you say the Panthers beat the Saints. Then they've got to play the Bucks, and we'll say that's 1-1. And then they're going to lose to the Seahawks. And the Bucks was similar, wasn't it? So the Bucks are losing to the Panthers.
They got the Falcons and
Dolphins. Oh, yeah. You say the Bucks almost have an easier run in there.
Oh,
so
100%.
really,
I think the Panthers need to beat the Bucks twice.
Yeah, or have a day out and beat the Seahawks.
Shit. NFC South's exciting. This is
it's nice. It's like, and all those NFC South fans out there were probably stoked that we're talking about them, but it does make it exciting. I love it when there's a 2-horse race going down to the final week.
We've called Baker Mayfield. We love him. Like, there's been a lot of injuries. He's still injured. Like, the fact that he's going out there and injured. He should have won. And Mbuka dropped an absolute fucking sitter that would have won them the game. So I'm not putting this on him. But I reckon the Panthers are a fucking good chance here. I kind of like them in the run home.
Yeah, and the Panthers are they're going to have that little bit more of a juice because they haven't made it, They haven't made it under Bryce Young or with the team that they've got. They're going to go in being like, hey, this is our run to the national championship. Us making it to the playoffs for them would be like them making it to the national championship in the college world. So this is going to be like their everything as this team. Super young core as well. They'll be just going in there, revving each other up every single day. That would be a fun locker room to be in on this run to the playoffs.
Absolutely. Beautiful, mate. Massive week 14. I didn't even, and I'm going to leave it for our Thursday chat with Charlie. My Packers, King of the North. We're not giving that up. Don't you worry about that. There'll be a lot more about my boys on Thursday, Friday, whenever that comes out. But huge. 4 weeks to go, mate, and football is well and truly alive.
Yeah, I got to give it to you that Packers game too. Like, I was rooting for the Bears. I tipped the Bears. I just wanted the Bears to get through. But like the fact you intercepted Caleb Williams in the end zone to close out that game, unreal. Yeah,
my phone, I got a crack in it because I threw it on the ground. That's how excited I was. But that's all right. Hey, the price we pay. But I'll see you Thursday, mate. You go get a bit of lem sip or whatever you need in that throat, and I want you cherry ripe for Thursday.
Thursday will be good to go.
Go Pack well.